Life is hard. This show, The Southern Style Medium, is all about understanding your life struggles, why they happen, and how to fix them. Get ready to be enlightened with life tools and free readings each week by renowned psychic medium, life coach, and motivational speaker, Sharon Pugh, fondly known as the Southern Style Medium for her warm, humorous, and tell-it-like-it-is approach. And now your host, Sharon Pugh.
Hey, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. Welcome to the Southern Style Medium. Soon we will be changing the name because I've got a permanent co-host, Matthew Brandau, who is another amazing, tested, certified psychic medium. And we're going to have a lot of great stuff to talk about on upcoming shows. And I think I've got Matt in the room. Hi, Matt.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hello.
Your
man.
grand.
I got to work on that landing.
Did you just come back from astral projecting?
Hell no. I just came back from a dream. Oh God. And today is going to be a hell of a day because we're going to be discussing dreams again, and a couple of other things that happen to our body. Sometimes when we're in meditation, and what might happen there. And here's a new thing that we might want to discuss out tonight is, what is meditation? How do you do it? Do you know how many people I've talked to who about meditation, like, do you meditate? Yeah, I do. What do you do? I sit down, I listen to some music, and I cross my fingers in a certain position, and I squat on the floor, crossing my legs over. And I said, what the hell does that mean? It's not meditation. That sounds like pain. So, there's a whole lot to discuss. And I hear some feedback. Is that from you or me?
It may be. Let me check my settings 1 second.
Okay. So while you're doing that, I thought I would talk a little bit about, first of all, we talked last time about dreams and what happens. And one of the things that I mentioned while Sharon's doing that is the quantum sleeping that I talked about, where we can go into different places extremely fast. Now, before we get into this also, let's make sure that everybody knows what's going on here. First of all, we have Sharon Pugh here, and you have Matthew Brandau. Now, how do you get a hold of us? Okay, the best way to do it for both of us right now is to go through our websites. On our websites, you're going to find two different options. You're going to find a PayPal, which means a prepaid reading, which is good for 15, 30, or 60 minutes. And that's what it's prepaid for. And then you give us a call, and when we put the timer on and it's 60 minutes, it's all done. Now, the other way to do it is go through a credit card, which you prepay for a certain amount of minutes, and you call up, and when it's time, it's time. The per minute tends to be the more popular one because some people really only want to pay for 5 minutes or 3 minutes or 10 minutes, and that option isn't available through our websites for the direct readings that's prepaid. So you'd have to go through our websites with that other one. And those options for the prepaid take you to what's another link, which is known as Click for Advisor, and it goes to them. And you set up the system that way. The other way you can do it is to get a hold of Sharon is two different ways. The one that's the most popular for her is with Bob Olson. If you go to the Best Psychic Directory that is run by a guy named Bob Olson, and you type in Sharon Pugh, P-U-G-H, you can find her on that website at bestpsychicdirectory.com. And that's where she will, you can definitely get a hold of her that way. And the other way now is also through the Click My Psychic, which is kind of a popular name, clickmypsychic.com, and you can find Sharon Pugh on the first page, easy to find right there in front of you. Just look for the one with the black hair. The rest of them they're all beautiful people, and I'm very glad that they're all there, but you can definitely find Sharon Pugh there and other psychics as well. And for myself, it's psychicmatthew.com. So, Sharon, how'd you do?
That was great. How much do I owe you? I mean, that was a glowing, amazing
Okay. No,
advertisement. So,
I was talking about the reverb.
okay, is that better? I don't think it's me because I'm not hearing myself talking back. So
Okay.
is it still doing it?
Yeah, a little bit, but that's okay. It's not a big deal as long as it's not affecting the sound quality, and it's not doing that at all.
Okay.
But so yes, if you want to reach us for a reading, please get a pencil or a paper or a really good memory and use some kind of a memory reminder. Psychic Matthew. That's kind of easy one. Everybody knows the name Matthew and the name Psychic. So Psychic Matthew, and it's just .com. Boom. Sharon Pugh. Well, most people know the name Sharon, and it's a common spelling, but they may not remember the name Pugh. P-U-G-H. So I'm going to say it 3 times. Pugh.com. P-U G-H as in Henry.com. SharonPugh.com. And if you don't have it by then, well, tough.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that. And we also, if we do get a caller, my Skype is not working, and so usually Christopher will notify me that we have a caller. So my Skype is not coming up. So if someone can just kind of chime in and let me know if we do have a caller, then we'll go to that. So we got a lot to talk about today. And I know
Okay.
last week we had, spoke briefly about the difference between dreams and astral projection, astral travel. Shared a little
Right.
bit about some places that we have been. And there was one thing that I wasn't able to touch on, and I wanted to share because I think that other people have experienced this and they don't know what it is. But
Wait, let me
I,
put in the 25 cents to get started. Clink. Okay,
okay,
go ahead.
all right, there you go. All right. He's so goofy. You are so goofy. All right.
Thank you.
No, I was asleep. Okay, I was asleep. But I woke up and I'm kneeling on the bed. Like I am, like kneeling up on the bed and my hands are up in the air and my hands are in this high force electric shield and I'm being electrocuted and I can't move and I'm wide awake and I'm going, okay, all right, I can't move my hands out of this, this almost like it had a hold of me. That movie Poltergeist, where the little girl gets sucked into the TV. I mean, that's what it felt like.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a good analogy right there. Wow.
it was. I mean, it's what it looked like, what it felt like. I couldn't see the energy, but it was very shocking. It was very painful. And I called one of my colleagues and I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Was something trying to take me into another dimension? And she looked at this. She said, no, what happened was you were trying to come back into your body after astral traveling and you kind of got stuck. And so my body went kind of met my soul in this place, which is why my body kind of rose up because I don't remember sitting up. And, as soon as I'm like, okay, all right, I saw the energy going through my head all the way down to my feet, and then all of a sudden I just plopped back in the bed. So it wasn't anything ominous or something that I should have been scared of. But at the time I was petrified because I didn't know what this
Sharon,
was. What?
I'll be honest with you. I think your friend was right on the money. I really think she was. I think you were trying to come back. You got stuck. And by your hands reaching up, you were reaching into another dimension. You couldn't physically see it, but spiritually you were. And I bet you that was the feeling you had. You're like, what the heck is going on? But you weren't completely conscious. You were just semi-conscious. If you had been completely conscious, you would have probably screamed out loud.
Yeah, and I couldn't. It's like you're right. I knew what was going on, but I couldn't outwardly react to it. And I think that's the protective mechanism that where our soul takes over and says, okay, we're going to keep the body in a safe, calm place until the soul goes back into the physical body.
Now, here's the big question. How the heck does our soul know all that? How does it know to control the physiological part of our brain that is the consciousness? How does it know? How does it tell the conscious part of our dream that is in dream state to not bring you into full consciousness, and at the same time reach up through your hands to grab the spirit and pull on the string and get it back? I mean, how the heck does it do that?
Okay, think about the soul itself. You know, the soul was created first. The soul is, you know, I think millions and millions of years old.
I'll be honest with you. I've heard that from many, many people, Sharon, and I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I can't do that. I can't think of what it would be like millions of years ago. I can't comprehend it. It's like asking me to, and this isn't because of you. It's in general for anybody who ever says that, including me. When I've told other people, I want you to think back as far as you can, and they'll think about yesterday. Maybe last week, Christmas. But I'll tell you, I cannot fathom what it would have been like a million years ago for me. I can't possibly fathom it. But it's an interesting point, right?
Okay,
it's just I'm just bringing that up, but it's kind of interesting. That's all.
No, I mean, and there are, you know, and we, that's one great thing about us is we don't always agree on the way that we see things. But when I say
it's a great challenge.
Yeah, when I say a million years, and I'm a firm believer of this, I truly believe this, is that, you know, Earth is not the only place where we have incarnated, where we have lived. And the soul stays constant. The soul never changes. The physical body and the vessel does change.
Now, somebody brought that up to me, who not to me, but another person said that the soul is like the ocean and the spirit is like the wave of the ocean. The small waves. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does. I mean, because that, you know, that wave, where did it originate from? How long has it been a wave?
Yeah.
You know, and
it
when
comes
it
and
washes
goes
up, yeah, exactly. It's constant.
So it's just a fascinating thing. But anyway, so so what happened in your dream? What happened after you, did you wake up all of a sudden, or did you pass out, or what happened?
No, I mean, my body kind of flopped, you know, back down, and I was just thinking to myself, that was the most bizarre experience I've ever had. You know, what was that? And it, you know, then I just started, you know, thinking, and then I went to, oh my gosh, something's trying to attack me. And, you know, when I reached out to this colleague, and she's tested and certified as well, so I trusted her opinion on this, and, you know, and I felt better. So I do try and make sure that if I do astral project or I do astral travel, that I say a prayer, and, you know, I ask that the soul goes very easily back into the physical body, and I don't experience that, you know, that again.
Well, amen to that. All right. Now, I'm going to tell you about what's actually in I had a physical experience. It's physical and spiritual at the same time one night many, many years ago. It was actually my spirit. I consciously came out of my body halfway out. Consciously, fully aware. And it freaked me out. I was in a hotel. I had just got off the road from truck driving many, many, many years ago when I was full-time truck driver over the road. I was at this hotel because I had a really stressful week, and I was back at the hotel is connected to the main terminal for where this place, the corporation address is. Big place. And all of a sudden I woke up and I felt myself breathing very fast. And my lips and parts of my face, I could feel the blood rushing through it. And it was a really disconcerting feeling. I was not scared. I was just really confused, and I was aware that it was happening. So there was no fear. And then all of a sudden, I felt the sensation of my middle back pulling up, but my back wasn't bending. I was laying flat because my head was angled up on the pillow so I could see it. But I was still lifting up, and all of a sudden, my face started lifting up, but my body wasn't. And the next thing you know, I'm sitting up fully, looking with my eyes around the room where I was, and I was so scared I didn't dare turn around to look at my body because I'd be terrified that I'm dying.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, something is really wrong here. And this is the crazy part. Once I slightly separated from my body, the view was completely different. Completely. The walls, anywhere I looked, were semi-transparent. If I decided to look in the other room, I instantly had a view of the other room. If I wanted to look outside across to the truck terminal to the main corporate offices, I was instantly looking at it from my room. There was no blockage of the walls. I could go right through them without even, didn't even have to think about it, just walk. So then I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I slammed myself back into my body, and then I got up out of bed. But here we go on a break, so folks, we'll be right back.
Conscious media for conscious minds. OMTimes. OMTimes magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. OMTimes. Co-creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Tune in to the Practical Intuitive, Mind, Body, Spirit for the Real World with me, host Robin Fritz, Mondays at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 Eastern. I'll cover personal and business intuition, animal communication, mediumship, space clearing, past life regression, shamanic insights, energy healing, soul choice, and more, all to help you tap your own intuitive and healing skills. No ifs, ands, or buts.
My name is Meera Batra, and this is How I Live United. Many families have come to America for a better life. I advocate for these families with United Way. United Way empowers them to see opportunities available. We help them get involved with their kids' schools and network within the community. My name is Meera Batra. I help families see opportunity and succeed. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I sound like somebody played at a disco contest. All right, here we go. Let's get ready to rumble. But instead, it's like, let's get ready to do psychic readings.
All right.
Speaking of which, ladies and gentlemen, please do me a favor and give us a call right now. The next caller that calls in will get a free reading from Sharon and Matthew. Yes, that's right, folks. A free reading. How do I sound for a goof?
It's hard to laugh and gather my thoughts. I got a mediumistic mind. Okay, all right. Focus, Sharon. Okay. All right. So I had wanted to give you some feedback on your
Oh,
experience.
yes.
That,
So after I got back into the body, I woke up, sat on the side of bed, shook my head, and grabbed a little glass of water, opened up the door, looked at the walls, and tried to figure out how that happened and why it is that the walls are now solid. I mean, I was tapping them with my hand like, those are rock solid. What happened? So go ahead. Tell me what you think.
as soon as you started, as soon as you mentioned, it felt like your face was being lifted. There was a tug, but you weren't literally moving your body. And especially when you said that the walls were semi-translucent and you could look through them. Immediately I connected with a more of a near death experience, or just more aware of your soul leaving your body than astral
Now,
projection. Does that make sense?
it does, but I actually had another theory. Try not to laugh too hard. I thought that my body was so mentally stressed out that my spirit had to come up out of the body and go, shake its head and go, what the hell are you doing? Sheesh. Basically telling the body, stop stressing yourself out. You're pissing me off. And then it went back into the body.
It could
like
be. I mean, it's
separation.
like the soul always knows what the body doesn't. And the soul, remember I don't know if it was last show or the show before, where I talked about soul override. And
Oh,
that's
yeah, yeah.
exactly what you just said is soul override. The soul takes over the physical body and says, shut down. Be
Oh.
aware and shut down.
I
Which
think I
is kind
just
of the
pissed
same
off my
thing.
spirit.
Yeah. Yeah. So you were aware of what was going on. So that's a very cool story.
All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, I made a challenge last week's show. Now, if anybody from last week's show is out there listening in to this show right now, and you thought about what kind of dreams you might have had and you have questions, now's the time to call in. It's early in the show, sort of. So give us a call. Let us know about what kind of crazy dream you might have had and what you might wonder what it means as well. And Sharon, what do you think?
Well, while we're waiting for callers to call in, if we do get any callers, one thing that somebody might ask is, astral traveling sounds really cool. How do I do it?
Yeah, there's a problem with that.
What's that?
All right. Astro. A long time ago, I learned of something very, very critical. There's three parts that I know about to astral projection. The first part is that we do it freely. We go out there and we can travel unlimited distance, but there is something that connects us while we're astral projecting. It's some kind of what they say theoretically is there's a strand, an energy connector or something, which no matter where we go, no matter how far we go, this energy string of some sort is always connected to us. Because if it's not, that means that we are no longer connected to this physical body and we could be invaded by another spirit. We could actually experience possession.
Okay, so no, I'm not laughing at that. Just the way that you said it, I just was like Space Invaders. Okay, but go ahead.
If I start dancing like Space Invader, she's like, what's wrong with him? Oh, shit, I think his spirit got disconnected. So the second part about this is that we have the conscious version of leaving our soul. And the problem with that is if you're astral projecting while you're in meditation, if it's naturally done, there wouldn't be any problem with it, but some people try to force it. And when they force it, it creates a contradiction at a level of energy which is not in flow with your, what do they call it, chakra. It's not in flow with your chakra. You're going against your chakra when you're transmitting yourself out there forcefully. And you actually create some kind of a change within your body's energy that doesn't work quite well. And then when you come back, things, you really need to actually relax and meditate. In some cases, you don't feel good. And then there's the third one, which is, what did I say the first one? The first one's natural, the second one is being forced, and then the third part is the actual connection. If that connection does break, for whatever reason, maybe you try to break it and you don't even realize it, or you do, because you like staying in the astral projection. Astral projection can be addictive. If you get used to it and you like it, you'll want to be there more often, and that's a huge no-no. Mm-hmm. And if you break that, you're going to be creating a critical situation with your physical body. What do you think, Sharon?
I do agree with, we can consciously do it. We can, sometimes do it out of necessity if angels need to come in the middle of the night and work on our physical body, by moving the soul away, out of the way. Yeah. They can do it a lot better. But, if you do want, to practice doing this, the first and most important thing is to make sure that you do have that connective cord in place. Start, in the morning. The morning around sunrise is the best time to do it, kind of while you're still sleepy. You want your body to be really relaxed. Lay down, breathe, do the breathing in, breathing out. Erase all the thoughts that you have, in your mind, which is why morning, while you're sleepy, sunrise is a good time to do it, because you're not bombarded by, all of the day's thoughts. And one thing that I do is I envision a whiteboard. And you might laugh at this, but it works for me. And it's a whiteboard, and the word nothingness is written on it. And that word nothingness actually clears my mind. And then I look for colors, that start to take shape like a doorway. And this is just what I do. You can, envision whatever colors you want to. I like to feel like I'm sitting down. So when I see those colors and I see that doorway, I kind of feel, I take on almost the shape of a slide, a very gentle slide. And as soon as I feel myself going, again, I make sure that cord is connected. Mm-hmm. And I've spoken about this before, how when I go through, Astral Project, I see things on my right and my left. And you can stop yourself if you see something, and you want to look at it further, you can. But I've done this so many times that we're only allowed to see something for a certain amount of time. And then that's all that we get. It's, we're not allowed to go and explore it. I don't know. Maybe somebody who's done this has spent hours, but I just get glimpses.
Well, now here's the trick again. What you may want to try is to not focus necessarily on the glimpses, but actually try to see if you can focus on yourself. See what you can feel. Gravity. Touch your fingers together. Can you do that? Can you tap your toes like, what the heck's that girl's name? uh, Wizard of Oz. Can you tap your shoes together?
Click the heels, Matthew.
Whatever. I don't wear heels, okay? Thank God I couldn't remember that one. Damn, you figured me out. How did you know?
Ruby slippers. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So anyways, it's when you get into this astral projection, that's something that people may want to try to understand as part of the ascension process when you're trying to become more spiritually aware, which is part of what ascension is. Become aware of what it is, not just what's around you, but where are you? And I actually did that in a dream. I was on this ship in the North Sea. Don't ask me why. And I was in this room aft, which means towards the rear of the ship, I think. And I stepped out of the room onto the deck. There was a couple people there. And I instantly became aware that I was dreaming. At least I thought I was dreaming. And then I said, wait a minute. If this is a dream, these guys are something's gonna go away real quick. And it didn't. And they were just looking at me. And I said, where am I? And they looked at me kind of funny. And I said to them really strongly, where am I? And they said to me, you are on Easter Island. And I said, okay. And I woke up a little while later and I remembered them saying Easter Island. So I went down to look on Google at Easter Island. And I found it. It was a real place. It's an island in the southern seas past the United States towards Mexico. I think it's north of South America out in the ocean, I think. But it actually is. Did you know about a place called Easter Island?
I have heard of Easter Island.
Well, whatever it is, it's an island there. There's apparently some strange statues there that they don't know where it came from originally, or maybe they do. But it's an island that's there, and it's in dispute for who owns it. But I found it, and I just like, okay, that was really weird. I was given the location of supposedly where I was.
Okay, I have this. Yeah. Okay, yeah, Easter Island it's a Chilean territory and a remote volcanic island in Polynesia.
Ah, okay.
And it's famous. It looks like it's famous for archaeological sites, including a 900 monumental statue called Moai, I think Moai. So it's very ancient, but it's from the Chile.
Yeah.
So that's
anyways,
a long way to travel.
That's what they said we were. We were in the oceans around it, and that's all I can tell you. And then I just woke up and I was like, okay, where was that? Now, I've had futuristic dreams that are freaking people out, where cables and steel, I don't know what you'd call it, some kind of support system for these cables, but these steel rafts were built and they went up into the sky 20 to 30 miles. And these gigantic cables were latched to them, and they were in circumference probably 200, 300, 400 feet in circumference. And they were laid all along these things, and power just went straight through them. And they went up deep into the clouds. And I got a little nervous because I guess I got vertigo while I was in there. See, I can experience vertigo in my dreams, which is really weird because I can also fly. So I tried following them, but then I passed out in my dream and went someplace else. But I found those cables in my dream going up way into the sky beyond sight. That's a freaky one.
Were the cables black?
Yes, they were.
Okay, with kind of a sheen.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I see them too. And we have not talked about this.
No. This was unplanned.
Yeah, okay, because I'm seeing what you're seeing, and you did actually see this, and I don't feel that it is something engineered by us. I feel like it's something engineered by a higher intelligence.
Oh yeah, there is no way human beings would have been able to accomplish this. No way. Billions of dollars, trillions of dollars to get this kind of technology, but I don't even know what it's for. That's the weird part. I have no idea what it was there for. I can only guess that it was power going through it or something was going through it, but beyond that, I'm clueless. And these massive steel struts were just from the ground going straight up and holding these things up, and I couldn't see the top of them. No matter how high I flew, I was flying into dark, very thick white clouds, I should say. And the higher I flew, I counted another one and then another one, then I passed out, and that was it.
Odd, I can see them, and I hear hybrid domes worked and maintained by magnetics. I have no idea what that means.
Well, I do actually, but that's not because I'm a genius. That just makes sense to me. It's common sense. But as a species, there's two things that we are now approaching. And it's been mentioned through, and hopefully we're probably going to come into a commercial pretty soon, but magnetics and digital fibers. Oh, geez, there we go.
You're psychic. You're psychic, Matthew. Okay, all right. I know, we're both goofy. We will be right back after this break.
The Real Conscious Connection. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Have you wondered how to change your love paradigm? The secret key is finding a love partnership, not just a regular connection. How do you find these? Through conscious relationships. Ascending Hearts Dating is a dating site for people like you that believes in second chances and a different type of spiritual connection. Try Ascending Hearts for free at ascendinghearts.com and change your love paradigm. Ascending Hearts, the premier dating community for the spiritually awake.
Hi, I'm Kelly Fox, host and astrologer of The Astrology Show. Each week, I'll give you access to the current transits, which are a valuable tool that provide astrological information to help unlock the potential each of us has. Understanding the stars can help steer us in the right direction to make better informed choices. So if you're wondering what's going to happen in your week ahead, be sure to tune in to The Astrology Show for guidance, Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
Melissa from Michigan. I work an extra part-time job serving lunch at my child's school, but I still can't afford to put food on our table.
Daniel from California. Choosing whether to pay the rent or pay to fix the car to get to work doesn't leave us with much at all. Now we can't even pay for meals.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
All right, we are back, and we are chit-chatting about the dream interpretation that I just had. And Sharon is in the middle of something right now, so I'm going to be chit-chatting while she tries to figure it out. You mentioned something, Sharon, about magnetics and domes. There's a couple of items that people may not be aware of as we ascend as a human race, and one of those things is technology. And technology is actually going to be part of the ascension process. AI, artificial intelligence, it's being demonized, unfortunately, by mass media, but whether or not it actually is something to be fearful of is still of a great discussion that does not have an answer to it, just debatable points. Now, there's a few areas that we are going to be increasing in our abilities to technologically improve our health and our lives. One of those places is magnetics. Right now, everybody knows we are switching to electric powered cars very slowly, but what people may not realize is those electric powered cars are based upon multiple theories of magnetic turbine capabilities. The second thing that's going on is we are shifting also into solar, and solar panels along with wind machines to create air. Solar panels are becoming a big deal as well, and that's talking about glass along with certain compounds and chemicals which allow us to create the solar capturing device. Because of those two items, I'm not surprised at what Sharon said about magnetics and glass domes, because that sounds very much like a future that we will be dealing with, and it's something that I think will probably be part of a commonplace when it comes to energy plants of the future and temperature controlled, environmental controlled living quarters for all kinds of people. It won't just be brick and mortar or steel. It'll actually be a combination of advanced mechanics along with glass and fiber optic cables and other type of things, and still some brick and mortar, but more steel, and then later on perhaps another metal might be discovered that'll be harder and lighter than steel, and we'll be able to construct much faster and much cheaper, but still have an incredibly technically capable future, which allows us to live healthier and also allows us to spiritually grow, because we will be much more relaxed and there will be controls on what we want compared to needs. They will all be met without having to cost us too much money. So that's what I think we're going there. Sharon, are you back with us yet?
I am. I just was posting on social media the call-in number in case somebody wanted to call in for a reading. But no, I was listening to everything that you were saying. And
okay,
there are numerous podcasts like 5-6 years ago where I talked about these pod-like communities. And I think we're going to go through, hundreds of years where we're going to move into. And one of the things that I said is, going forward, going back five years ago, I said, now's the time to invest in steel. And because we are going to have high-speed rail systems, and attached to those high-speed rail systems are pod communities. And these are, societies where everything is right there. We're going to live simpler. We're going to take advantage of the space that we have. We're going to design furniture and,
Hold on a second, Sharon. I think... Okay, great.
Okay, great.
All right, so go ahead with Jill, and then we'll finish up your story in just a second, because we are actually getting close on time. We only have about 13 minutes left, so let's go ahead and take Jill now, and then we'll talk about your podcast afterwards. Sound good?
Okay. Yes. Hi, Jill.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
Good. We're actually Facebook friends, so thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.
But anyway, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead, sweetie. Where are you calling from? What state do you live in?
Wisconsin.
Ah, okay. Okay, what's your question?
Okay. I'm from Illinois, and I left where I'm from because it was very toxic. And so I picked up, and I ended up in Wisconsin, and I left, ended up in Wisconsin. Do you see me being here for a while, or is it just temporary? Because I'm not sure really where I belong yet.
Oh, no, you're not grounding at all in Wisconsin. You're like a fish out of water, and you keep wanting to fly away.
Okay.
All right. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sharon.
So you were never really supposed to move to Wisconsin.
Okay.
And I don't want to tell you to just up and move now. You've got to have a plan on where to go. So your first name is it Jill?
Yes.
Okay. The two places that I see that you vibrate the best, and typically these don't go together, but the East Coast, the extreme East Coast, or the extreme West Coast.
Okay.
So
I'm
go
on the
ahead,
edge of my
go
seat
ahead.
here.
I know. I'm going to let Matthew kind of chime in, and then I'll finish up when he's done. Go ahead.
Okay.
All right. Jill, my dear.
Yes.
The first thing I'm going to tell you is you are extremely frustrated.
Okay.
Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. You have been frustrated for a few years. This isn't a recent frustration. This is a years-long frustration. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. Right now, between the East and the West Coast, the South Coast, and where you are right now, have you not, tell me if I'm wrong, have you been looking at all the different states trying to figure out which one would be best for you? And as soon as you think you have it, you start looking someplace else. Does that make sense to you?
You know, I'm kind of pulled. I used to live in New Mexico, and I'm kind of pulled to going back there.
Okay. But at the same time, you're not doing it.
No.
Okay. What I'm feeling is that in your fantasy, when you're looking around, I feel like you've actually looked at the states of North Carolina, Florida, Louisiana, Texas, and Arizona. Are any of those states making sense to you?
Yes, Florida and Arizona.
Okay. Now, what's going on here is before you make a move, I'm being told that you are in the desire to make a career change first. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Your priority needs to be the career change first, and I'm being told it does not have to be a full-time college, but you could actually go back to college and learn a particular skill, and I'm being told that you already have an idea of what you want that skill to be, but you also are worried whether or not you can transfer that skill to whatever state you move to, and whether or not that would be safe. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. With that being said, the answer is when you get that skill, you can take it with you to 3/4 of the states that you've looked at, and you would succeed, but only a very small percentage, 2 or 3 of the states, would actually pay at a higher level than the other states. So you actually have to do some research on the numbers of the cost of the per hour charge that you would get paid in those states, and make sure that those are updated. And then once you have those statistics in your hands, then you go to that school, move forward with the class, and then you'll know exactly where you're going to be going, and you can already research that area to find a job, and you will have yourself a successful plan, and you will move forward with it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I wanted to tell you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Jill, I'm getting an opportunity. You want to be self-employed, don't you? You like to.
Yes.
Okay.
Totally.
Because...
You were reading my mind.
All right.
Shocker there.
So, okay.
Okay, thank
All right,
you.
but you will, in the next year and a half, you're going to be working for yourself, and you're going to love it. And you're going to have more of the freedom to move to the exact location that you want to. And why somebody's coming in and going, Mama? Do you call your mama Mama? Mama.
It could be my daughter.
I'm actually feeling that's an aunt. But anyways.
Okay.
So did we help you out a little bit there?
Yes.
Great.
Okay.
Well, thank you for giving us a call. We're going to have to let you go for now because we've only got 5 minutes left of the show, and we're going to give a really fast reading to the next person.
Okay. Okay.
All right, go ahead. Thank you, Jill, for giving us a call. You take care. All right, go ahead with Kathy.
Hi.
Hello, Kathy. We've got 5 minutes, so we're going to give you a speed reading. So go for it. What's your question, young lady?
Do I have any issues with my heart, or is it just my COPD?
Oh, honey, you've got to get the anxiety and panic attacks under control.
Well, that's true too.
You are afraid that you're not going to wake up in the morning. Do you realize you do this? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Even the keenest of mediums and psychics and intuitives, we don't know when you're going to leave this earth. But I'm clearly getting a message that you've got to start living in the moment.
Okay.
And I'm clearly getting the message you're not going anywhere anytime soon. But it's like I see you praying and crossing yourself, going, God, let me wake up in the morning. I just want to wake up in the morning, and and then you wake up, and then it's like you pray and fear that something's going to happen that day. So it's almost like you are afraid to live.
I'm actually gonna. I'm gonna hop in here for a quick. I'm gonna hop in here for a quick second.
Okay.
Sharon. Is that
all right.
Okay.
Go. Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
What faith are you right now, young lady?
In Texas.
No, not what place. What faith? What religion?
Oh, spiritual. But I also believe, I believe in God and reincarnation and.
Okay, I want something you need to focus on right now. That Sharon is also talking about is I want you to start realizing that the fear that you have is just that, a fear. It is created by you. And I want you to start realizing that you've had a fantastic life and that the future, you have no idea what it holds, and enjoy it while it is. Unfortunately, we can't give you too much more of a reading because we're going to be coming up short. But I will tell you that the message is that spiritually speaking, you are more loved than you could possibly realize, and that everything is going to be okay. And I'm not promising you a miracle of any kind. I'm just telling you that the future for you is going to be beautiful. That is the message I'm supposed to give you. It's going to be a beautiful world for you. So when you wake up with a smile. You know it's going to be a challenging day always, but that doesn't matter. Just remember, your soul and your spirit are beautiful.
Kathy,
Thank you.
Kathy, I got a quick question for you, or just more of a message, but a CPAP or something with your sleep, like sleep apnea.
We're working on that with the pulmonary doctor at the moment.
Okay, all right. Because just stay on top of that. I just heard, please tell her that she needs to have a sleep evaluation for sleep apnea. That it's not the cause of what's going on, but it's almost like a contributing to what is, what is going on.
Yeah,
Well,
I
wish we
just
could.
did the home sleep test 2 nights ago.
All right. Well, hopefully we've helped you
okay.
out a little bit, and we wish you all the luck. But unfortunately, we're going to have to let you go. I'd rather not get cut off from you before we say goodbye, and we have to do a little bit of a last-minute goodbye ourselves. So if you feel like giving us a call next Thursday early, we'll be able to talk to you a little bit more, all right?
Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome,
You're very
Kathy.
welcome.
Take care, sweetie.
Bless your heart. So, folks,
Thank you.
again, we're very glad to have had everybody give us a call. Thank you very much to the beautiful young ladies that have called in. We hope we could help you today. Sharon, why don't you throw out your contact information real quick before the show wraps up?
Okay, all right. If you want to reach me for a private reading, go to SharonPugh.com, Pugh.com. Matthew, what's your contact information?
PsychicMatthew.com, folks. And thank you once again for a great show, Sharon. We'll talk to you all soon. Take care.
All right, thank you. See you next week.